Welcome to the 200th episode of the Best Today podcast and our final episode of the podcast. I am your host, Shantae Grant. I am so grateful today. This is our final episode. So let's get started one last time. Welcome to the Best Today podcast. I'm your host, Shantae Grant, creator of the Best Today Guide and owner of the Best Today brand, where we equip women with resources to help you show up as your best one today at a time. If you're ready to trade chaos, comparison, and busy for intentional living, you are in the right place. We believe that intention begins with first knowing who you are and what you want. Here on the podcast, we'll have conversations together about topics that matter to you on the journey of becoming, because we know that being your best leads to doing your best. So welcome to the podcast created to help women all across the globe proclaim, this is what my best today looks like. Let's get started. Hello, my Best Today podcast family and friends. Welcome back to the Best Today podcast. This is episode 200, and I thought it would be fitting for the very last episode to go back and catalog for you the last 50 episodes of the podcast, roughly. Episodes 152 all the way to 199. And actually, let's say 151 because we'll put 151 in there, because we want to start with what that episode did. And I'm going to pick up right there. Episode 151 of the podcast catalogs episodes 1 through 150. That's a lot of episodes to catalog. And so I realized maybe doing that maybe every 50 would have been helpful. So my plan had always been to use episode 200 to catalog the last 50. I just at the time didn't realize that would also be the end of the podcast. So today, I want to catalog these episodes for you because one of the things I hope you will take from this episode is how much richness is waiting for you on this podcast. And this is just talking about a fraction, a quarter of the episodes, right? There are 150 before that, right, that are so rich. And so I also want you to make note of episode 151, to go back to episode 151 and then listen to those categories and flag the episodes you want to listen to. Just write down the numbers, keep them on a little tab on your phone or in your Best Today guide or something that you keep with you all the time. And then just start listening to those episodes and scratch them off, saving the ones you know you might want to come back to, because that's the point. These episodes are not a one-time thing. There are so many people say, oh, this is the episode I listen to at least once a week, once a month. I come back to this one every time X happens or Y happens or beginning of every quarter. So you want to come back and engage with these episodes. They're going to be here for you. So let's get into it. The first thing I was going to tell you is, so episode 151, which catalogs 1 through 150, was broken down into a number of categories. Getting to know more about the Best Today products, great for getting started, thinking differently, introspection, encouragement, social media routine, planning, how-to, home and family, and lessons from my life. For 152, basically, to 200 or to 199, I've broken it down into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 categories. Pep Talk series, planning, how-to, lessons from my life, introspection, family, stewarding your time / time management, but you'll find out why I tend not to use that term, but I know it's a term that most people refer to, Best Today, and social media. So let's just get started right from there. The episodes won't go in order, instead, as like I won't go like 150 was this and that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the categories and then the episodes that fall in those categories. But every single episode from 152 on forward are listed here. Okay, some in more than one category. So the first thing I wanted to remind you of is the Pep Talk series that I did over the summer. That was episodes 170 through 178, where I asked you all, the listener, what you wanted a pep talk on, and I recorded. Every episode was based off something from a customer. And so again, those are episodes 170 to 178. And so 170 is a pep talk to encourage you when seasons change. It's a great episode to listen to if you're shifting seasons, or really if you can catch that episode before your season changes or shifts, if that's possible for you to know ahead of time. It's really good to go and get that encouragement. 171, a pep talk when you're leaving social media temporarily or permanently. We did that right before we did our July social media reset. Episode 172, a pep talk for when you experience the fear of missing out, also known as FOMO. 173, a pep talk when fear keeps you from trying new things. 174, a pep talk when you're in the plateau, not seeing progress. If you're in the middle of something, or you've been striving toward a goal and you saw so much growth, and then all of a sudden it just seems like, man, I can't seem to go up, peak again. Maybe you're in the plateau. So go listen to that episode to learn more about that. Episode 175, a pep talk when you find it's hard to rest, be still, or slow down. Episode 176, a pep talk when you feel bored with life. 177, a pep talk for moments of significant transition. Another great one. Save that. We'll all will be there in some point in our lives, multiple times in our lives. Save that episode. It's so helpful in those times of transition. And don't forget, you can always go on the on besttoday.co and Google the word or search the word transition, and you'll find other episodes that I have talking about transition. A lot of good episodes talking about transition, not only in life, but even in your days. Episode 178, a pep talk when you intentionally go back to something you took time away from. Those were all of the pep talk series. So you can go back again, like I said, 170 to 178 and find the pep talk that you just might need. The next category is planning, episodes that talked about and touched on planning. Episode 152, how to use categories to help you with planning and deciding what's most important right now. If you're going to be, and I hope you'll be on January 9th in our top of the year planning session in the Best Today community, which you can join, go to besttodaycommunity.com or just click the link below. I'm going to tell you it's going to be fantastic, and we're going to be using this method, and I've already created worksheets for you to help with this. This is how we planned, and I taught how to plan at the end of 2023. It's how I plan the top of the year with my friends when we get together and we have planning sessions together. So 152 is a great episode to listen to, and then bring that insight to the planning session on January 9th, 2025 that we'll be hosting in the community, free to all community members. 153, throw out time management and trade it for this instead. Go listen to that episode. 165, a simple way to plan your day when you need flexibility in your days. I teach this almost every single day in my corporate coaching. Go and get this gem for free today. 165. 177, a pep talk. We talked about that one for moments of significant transition. 189, how to do what you set out to do each week. And 190, how to make your weekends work for you. Those are all the ones that I would dub under planning. Next is the how-to episodes. Episode 152, how to use categories to help you with your planning and deciding what's most important right now. Episode 163, how to lean in during the times when you don't have it in you. Like, I got to do this thing. I have to show up, but it's not in me. Let's talk about how do we do that. Episode 165, a simple way to plan your day when you need flexibility in your days. Oh, let me say this, because in case you think I'm talking fast, one, you can rewind me, but two, we have this list for you in the show notes for today's episode, which can be found at besttoday.co/200. We've also got it linked right here below for you. So we got you. Don't worry. You are golden. All of these things are listed as I'm reading them, as I'm saying them to you on our website, besttoday.co/200. So we've got you covered. Okay. So episode 165, a simple way to plan your day when you need flexibility in your days. 184, how and why to write your own personal mission statement. Please go do that episode. Go listen to it. Come talk about it over in the community. 185, answering a listener question. How do you stay focused when it's so easy to be distracted? 189, how to do what you set out to do each week. 190, how to make your weekends work for you. And 195, how to ground yourself in the present when your mind wants to wander. Those are the how-to episodes. Next category, lessons from my life. I didn't realize I had so many. There's so many more I have to share, actually, which will be coming soon for those on the journey. Literally have one coming up as I sit here recording this. 154, 8 things that are helping me plus bringing me joy right now. 159, what to do after being told no when you wanted a yes. 168, a life lesson on pruning from my recent closet clean. 180, how to acknowledge and celebrate the wins in your day to day. 181, the details on a new paper system I implemented in our home. 182, 5 things I did to prepare our home and family for the upcoming school year. 183, 7 ways I changed my smartphone use for the better. 187, 6 things that help me maintain intention and organization within my home. 194, 2 things about business and life that have been on my mind lately. And 198, a few final words to you before, 198, a few final words to you before we say farewell to the Best Today podcast. And then episode 199, more on my second Substack, An Invitation to Abide, which was last week's episode. All right, the next category of episodes from this last quarter of episodes is introspection. Episode 158, are you being led by the sunk cost bias? Listen to find out. Episode 158, are you being led by the sunk cost bias? Listen to find out. Episode 159, what to do after being told no when you wanted a yes. Episode 164, the rising problem of entitlement and how you can be a part of the solution and not the problem. Episode 167, what really matters. 169, what to do when you fall back into unhealthy or unhelpful habits or behaviors. 172, a pep talk for when you experience the fear of missing out or FOMO. 175, a pep talk when you find it hard to rest, be still, or slow down. 176, a pep talk when you feel bored with life. 184, how and why to write your own personal mission statement. At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today. Hello, Shantae here with one final reminder and call to action for you, the Best Today podcast listener. I want to make sure that we stay connected now that the Best Today podcast has come to an end. Yes, you have over 200 episodes to listen to here on out, but I want to also make sure we're staying together and connected in real time. So here is how we do that. Number one, if you're a Best Today customer, make sure you're on our email list. You can get on by going to besttoday.co/email. Number two, join us over in our community, besttodaycommunity.com. If you are a woman who desires to live a life of intention, we've created that space for you. Number three, keeping up with me. For those on the journey, my new Substack where I'll be writing. If you've enjoyed the podcast episodes, you're going to love For Those on the Journey because it's more of that, but I get to go in depth and it's there for you every single week. And last but not least, number four, I believe that's correct. Number four is Invitation to Abide. I talked about it last week, but remember it is there for you as well if you are interested. And did I say already number five? You can always shop all of our products, our online products, everything at besttoday.co. Thank you so much again for being here, but I want to make sure you have those ways to stay connected. Shopping with us at besttoday.co, being on Best Today's email list, besttoday.co/email, so you can stay in the know on all the things we have coming up, being in our Best Today community, besttodaycommunity.com, and subscribing to one or both of my Substacks For Those on the Journey and Invitation to Abide. We have all of that linked for you below. Thank you so much for being here. (186) How to avoid becoming complacent, and what exactly does complacent mean anyway? 191, are your values evident in your daily life and decisions? 196, why it's necessary to allow yourself to evolve. 197, one question I didn't ask you about social media, but now I need to. And 198, a few final words to you before we say farewell on the podcast. Next category are episodes that relate to family or the home. Episode 161, exposing the lie of you only get 18 years. 162, a reminder to take all your paid time off. 181, the details on a new paper system I implemented in our home. And 182, 5 things I did to prepare our home and family for the upcoming school year. Next category, stewarding your time, or time management, as some people like to call it. 153, throw out time management and trade it for this instead. Make sure you listen to that episode. 154, 8 things that are helping me and bringing me joy right now. I talk about those things that are helping me steward my time. That's why it falls under this category as well. 160, need help with stewarding time well at work or your volunteer organizations? Listen to this. 162, a reminder to take all your paid time off. 165, a simple way to plan your day when you need flexibility in your days. 178, a pep talk when you intentionally go back to something you took time away from. 185, answering a listener question. How do you stay focused when it's so easy to be distracted? 188, how the Best Today morning practice can help you build better boundaries. 189, how to do what you set out to do each week. 190, how to make your weekends work for you. And the second to last category are things that are related to Best Today. 166 was a recap of our 2024 Best Today conference. Go listen to that episode. 188, how the Best Today morning practice can help you build better boundaries. That should be under time as well. I don't know if it was, but that one did. Oh, it did. Okay, it was. Excellent. And then 192, the announcement episode where we shared that the Best Today podcast is writing its final chapter. And last but not least, that episode category that we've talked quite a bit about over the last 200 episodes, and that is social media. Episode 171, a pep talk when you're leaving social media temporarily or permanently. 172, a pep talk for when you experience the fear of missing out. 179, my number one takeaway from this year's social media reset. 193, the dangers of feasting on sound bites. Recent reflections on social media. Really important episode. Please listen to it. And 197, one question I didn't ask you about social media, but now I need to. That, my friends, are the last 50 episodes of the podcast, roughly, categorized for you. Again, you can find that all listed out at besttoday.co/200. If you enjoyed these topics, if you enjoy any of these episodes, then right now, I'm going to slow down so you can hear me. While you're sitting, walking, unless you're driving, take your device you're listening on and scroll down right here to subscribe to those for those on the journey. Subscribe to for those on the journey. And click sign up, put in your email address. Each week you'll have new writings in your inbox from me. And guess what? I read them aloud. So if you miss my voice, you can get that too. The reading is for paid subscribers. You can go to forthoseonthejourney.com right now, or even easier, just click right here where you're listening, where it says subscribe to For Those on the Journey. There's already a wealth of writing waiting for you. So go on and subscribe so you don't forget, because there won't be a brand new episode next week to remind you. Okay. We're leaving 2024 with the Best Today podcast. So make sure you go on and subscribe now. And that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me for whether it's been 1 episode, 7 episodes, however many. How many do we have total? 400 episodes. Wherever you find yourself in that number, 1, probably this is the first one, but 1, 4, 40, 400. Thank you so much for being present with me and joining me here as I turn this final page on the Best Today podcast and transition right over into what is next. And that is writing at For Those on the Journey, an invitation to abide, which I shared more about in last week's episode. I hope to see you on one or both. And if you are a woman who desires to live a life of intention, consider this your invitation to join me and all the besties, as we're called, in the Best Today community, which is also linked right here where you're listening. There you will see my face every single week. Thank you for being present, for allowing me into your homes, your headphones, and your heart. May you go out and live every single day with intention and joy, one today at a time. For now, I'm signing off for the Best Today podcast. Goodbye. This podcast is provided for you every week by Best Today, where we are on a mission to help you to live and work well. We do this by creating resources that bring intention to how you plan, schedule, work, and live. You can get started in one of 3 easy ways. First, by taking our product quiz at besttoday.co/quiz. 2, joining us in our online community, the Best Today community, at besttoday.co/community. Or 3, connect with us through email at besttoday.co/email, all of which are linked below in the show notes. To learn more about our company and what we do, visit besttoday.co and join thousands of customers around the world pursuing a life of intention, one today at a time.